Hi. All right, without further ado, I want to invite our awesome panelists for tonight's panel discussion. First of all, Noel Blanco, Chief Communications Officer of San Jose Chapter and National Program Director of Pride, NAAAP. Saudi Suriban, Chief Marketing Officer of Silicon Valley Pride, Senior Management Analyst at County of Santa Clara Office of LGBTQ Affairs. And Wen Sun, Head of Civic Engagement Program at Society of Heart's Delight. Welcome. Well, thank you so much for making your time and committing to our panel tonight. First of all, could you please briefly introduce yourselves and describe how you identify within the LGBTQ community and the Asian American community?
Hello, good evening. I'm Noelle Blanco, just like you said, and who am I? God, that's a hard question. No, I'm just kidding. I won't say all my titles. I work for NAP, the National Association of Asian American Professionals, and I work locally in San Jose as well as nationally for Pride. And as of recent, I'm also strategy and operations of NCAPIA, the National Queer API Alliance. Yeah. So we're like the beacon of Asian queer everything, hopefully. And then how do I identify? I love that you asked me. I'm trying to be better about asking people if they feel comfortable to share. I identify as a queer API cisgen woman. And as an Asian, I identify as Portuguese, Filipino, Spanish, and Chinese. And I don't speak any other languages because I'm assimilated. I think we covered most of it, yeah. You're Salvi.
Hi folks, name is Salvi. My pronoun is he, him, his. On my day job, like Julie mentioned, I work for County of Santa Clara Office of LGBT Affairs. What we do is we create policies to support the needs and resources for the LGBT community. So we do great things to help you folks out. But on my off hours, I'm the Chief Marketing Officer for Silicon Valley Pride. We run one of the largest parade and festival here in San Jose, Silicon Valley, which happened in August 24 and 25. So please check us out. Plaza DC Chavez Park. I identify as gay Filipino, first generation, living here in San Jose, California.
Hi everyone, my name is Wen Sun, and I'm originally from China, so I identify myself as first generation Chinese American. My hometown is Chengdu, Sichuan, so I'm native Sichuanese too. So my day job is I'm a real estate appraiser, but all my after work hours, I work a lot with Society of Heart's Delight. I'm leading the civic engagement project at this SHD. So our civic engagement project, I'm very passionate about it. I think it's very important because it help the Chinese community to get more involved with our local public affairs and get them participated in the local politics. So eventually I hope the Chinese community will vote more, to express our voice more. So I identify myself as lesbian and a non-binary. Thank you.
Woo! See how diversified. See how diversified our panelists are. So I just want to say, tell the audience how I get to know each of you. I met Noel at a drag queen event that was super fun, hosted by both organizations, right? Yeah. And Yuan She brought mahjong tables there, and we helped out each other. Then I I met Saudi at a bar. And actually, County sponsored that event, right? We hang out at the bar. Yay, happy Pride. Then, and I met at my house when I hosted a political campaign for Margaret Abikoga, right? Yes, back in January. Wow. Oh, right. Yeah. So actually, we have the fifth person on this slide, which is Wen's wife, and our. Oh, Anyway, she's the comedian for tonight, and she will get on stage right after our panel. Oh, okay. Can each of you please share a significant moment or experience that shaped your journey as an LGBTQ individual within the Asian American communities? Share or not share?
You think about it. Do you know? Right now,
So I just want to say there are a lot of important moments in shaping my journey in the LGBTQ community. But I would say before I came to United States, I wasn't very, aware of this, the need to advocate for ourselves. And I just thought, I came to a free country and it should be a much better environment. Until I went to visit my relatives who are also Chinese, and they lived in California for more than like 2-3 decades. And I went to visit them, and we had, start talking, and suddenly they're talking about there's no gay in China, the gays and the LGBTQ thing, it's all Western stuff. And I was like, wow, where have you been? I mean, even people in China wouldn't agree with you. Like, you lived in the United States for 2-3 decades, and that's what you think. That's a awakening moment for me at that moment. I'm like, this is one right here, and I'm from China. So it's just that's the moment to really start thinking how uneducated the Chinese immigrant community is about the LGBTQ issues. So, after that, I just started becoming more and more active or aware of the needing to contribute to the advocacy for the LGBTQ community.
Okay. We're so seasoned professionals here. I was just thinking of one. It's not really a story, but a significant time in my life. Oh. It's me. Okay. I would definitely say a significant time in my life. I was pretty young, probably 11 or 12, and I was watching, probably shouldn't have been, HBO special with Margaret Cho. And I was like, who is this crazy woman? And I just absolutely fell in love with her comedy. She's still my hero to this day. I've met her twice. It was amazing. She is honestly the reason why I decided to identify as queer. And I felt like that's a lot of people's story, honestly, is she made it okay to be Asian on TV and to be gay and to represent something that's not what you normally see Asians do on TV, let alone in life. So I would say 2 parts. Significantly when I was a kid and I didn't understand her jokes, but I knew that she was special. And then when I met her and I screamed at her and I accused her of being Margaret Cho. I said, "You're Margaret Cho," and she went, "Oh my God, what?" She got really scared. But that was a really great moment of my life too. So I thank her so much for allowing her not even knowing that she allows me to be myself and just open that door. And then I was able to walk through that door.
Wow.
Okay.
So I know we're still a minority group. Can each of you suggest or share what kind of support systems or communities have been most beneficial to you in your journey and why? Sally? Come to your office.
I would say support system would be, I would say my friends. You know, like it's a safe space for me growing up and growing up gay. And my friends are very supportive of my coming out story. And yeah.
Sweet friends.
There are a lot of supporting systems. You know, when I was young, I relied a lot on the books and movies. And then, like after I came to the United States, you know, therapists, you know, is definitely are very, very helpful in helping us when we were down and, you know, not having a good time. And Society of Heart's Delight is definitely a great supporting system because we have so many, you know, our folks on our team are in this community, and we do a lot of things, you know, for the community. That just makes me feel like I'm a little bit more in control. Yes, so that's very helpful.
I would definitely say when I started volunteering at NAP in 2020, I just moved back to the Bay Area from Orange County during the pandemic. It was an awful time for everyone, and Orange County was just not the place to be and be Asian at the time, and I didn't realize how much I missed the Bay Area. And I was unemployed and moving home with my tail between my legs, and I felt like really lost. And I went to some Asian woman event out of Boston that was virtual, and I met a few people, and then I found out about NAP, and I just connected, did my little networking thing, and then a few weeks later, I'm like in charge of a virtual event, and they wanted my labor, but then essentially I found community, and just having like open conversations about where I am in my life and just being really honest and vulnerable, more than I realized I needed to be at the moment. I kind of like officially came out. I don't really believe in like coming out. I don't know, just personally I feel like we're always coming out to different people in different areas, but I definitely came out to the director at the time of NAP Pride, which I am now, and I was just kind of like, yeah, I've never really said that out loud because all my friends and family just know that I'm queer, so I never had to say it, but I'm saying it now because I feel like I want to be part of this community, and there's just so much more here. And at the time too, I didn't really identify as Asian, even though I'm totally Asian. But I just didn't identify as Asian. It wasn't a community that I felt like I belonged in. I'm mixed racially. I was assimilated. I don't speak any languages, and I just didn't. I knew I was Asian, but I didn't know what that meant. And it wasn't until I, like I said, came out essentially as queer, but really came out too that I want to start identifying as like Asian American, that it was just a beacon, and everyone just started welcoming me, and I started building committees and teams, and a couple years later I like run most of it, and it's just been such an inclusive community. And anytime anything happens, there's an Asian hate crime or something just awful in news, I look to that team and I'm like, I need somewhere to just cry. And they've always been there for me, and the queer Asian community has been nothing but accepting and supportive. I feel safe, so.
Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, everyone, you should follow their Instagram accounts. That's a great support system right there. I also want to give special acknowledgement to Michelle and Pat, because they played a very important role on my own coming out experience. So I got divorced with a straight man last year, then I fell in love with a woman.
Great choice!
Best choice! Then I called Michelle. I was like, Michelle, I don't know, but I just had this feeling for this woman, and I've never had sex with a woman before. She's like,
anytime.
and you can never get back, okay? That is so true. Anyway, I came out to my mom and my kids, and they're very supportive. My mom said, well, you already have kids. Do whatever you want. So Asian. And my daughter goes to an all-girl private school. She's like, Mommy, are you lesbian now? Or are you bisexual? I was like, wow, you know a lot. Anyway, so yeah, she welcomed my partner to live with us, and she's a great stepmom. Okay, back to our panel.
Many people don't know you're a stand-up comedian too.
Well, that's not my job tonight. Not my job tonight. My next question is, in what ways do you engage in advocacy or activism for the LGBT community, and what advice would you give to others looking to get involved? In so many ways.
As you folks know, already mentioned that Chief Marketing Officer for Silicon Valley, right? It's a volunteer-run nonprofit organization. So I would say I'm also an activist in terms of like, I have expertise in events, I have expertise in marketing, so I've used that platform or that expertise or skill set to create events for the LGBT community. One of them is, like you already seen, we have our monthly drag brunches, first Sunday of the month, Soho Market. And then, and also one of my, I would say, partner or mentor is Sarah Fernando, a trans Filipino woman. Whenever there's marginalized community, especially the LGBT community, like overnight or like that day, we have our rally kit. We go to City Hall and just basically advocate for the marginalized community, especially the LGBT community. So that's my way of activism and giving back to the LGBT community.
Woo!
No, it's fine. It was like 3 of us. It's fine. I kind of base my answers off what you guys say. Like, what can I add? It's one of those things like once you get involved, you just get so involved, and you look at all of us, you know? So I don't have a lot of advice on that. Just like, I have better advice for getting involved with the community. Obviously, you're involved with the community. You're here. I hope so. But I will say that I'm at the point in my journey of advocacy that y'all are amazing, and thank you so much for supporting us. And if you're part of the community, your work is amazing. Hot topic. It's a hot take. It's not enough. You need to encourage the people who aren't in these spaces to advocate for you and advocate for us in the spaces that we don't have access to. Because that's what it's going to take, is for the people that don't come to the events. Ask them if they want to come to events. Keep inviting them to events. Keep inviting them to platforms. Keep inviting them to all the amazing things that you do, because they love you and they love our community, and they just don't know how to intersect into it sometimes. So I feel like, especially in a voting year, like, it's so important to show up, and it's even next level if you're ready to invite people in here. Invite people here to advocate for us and advocate for you. So, yeah.
So true.
Thank you. So I just want to add to that, besides volunteering at this nonprofit organization and contribute to all these amazing events, what I do for Extra is share my story, my LGBTQ story, let the people see we're real people, and just talk to your coworker when you do small chatting, just talk about your life, talk about your significant other, and your life journeys. And I found that's a way to really close the gap, between our community and the other communities.
Great. I only have 2 more questions to ask, and then time for laugh. All right. What does thriving look like to you as an Asian LGBT individual? Can you share a success story or a moment of pride? Like,
This is really easy. Everybody here. Like, seeing everybody fill this room, that gives me such pride and joy in my heart. And world peace.
I know. For me, it's just if I could contribute a little bit to expand our ally base, I feel very proud of that. I think recently my most proud moment is when I heard my mom tell me she stood up for our LGBTQ community when she heard someone talking trash, about us. She stood up and just kind of educated them. Like, there's nothing wrong with them. Yeah, that's my
Proud moment is, being with the community, being with you folks. Just seeing all of the smiley faces and coming out to events, coming out to LGBTQ spaces, and advocating not just for the LGBT community, but a big ally for marginalized community too.
And I know all of you wear so many hats, and you're all in leadership roles. As a leader in the community, what message would you like to leave with our audience tonight? That's my last question for you. And we will open up for Q&A, actually. Q&A.
I feel like most of my answers were pretty CTA driven. I will recap it. Vote, show up, invite people.
This is cliche, but live your authentic self, no matter who you identify, and be proud of yourself, and be out there and get loud.
Get loud!
I just want to say, if you feel comfortable, share your stories. And when somebody is sharing their story, please listen to them. That's what I'm trying to say.
I'm going to add to that real quick. That's a really, really good point. If you feel comfortable to do so, share your stories. Only your stories, don't share other people's stories. Unless it's with someone else's name. Don't use their name. But also, I'm sure you guys also feel this way. You never know who's listening. You never know what message you put on social media. You don't think it's a big deal. You share something about yourself, and then someone comes up to you months later, and they're like, "Oh, I saw you panel. I saw you talk about this," and then they tell you how much it meant to them, and you're just like, "Me? I was just telling my story." But that really, it really changes you when you're somebody really cares, and I mean more than I ever honestly realized, and I can help people without even trying, just being myself. So kind of collectively what you guys both said, you just never know. So just keep telling your story, keep sharing as comfortable as you can in the spaces you can, because you really could change someone's life and you could save somebody's life, honestly. So just keep sharing your stories.
I also want to add what Noelle mentioned, that the owner of the new TV, without knowing Michelle and Pat's story, I don't think she would be an ally. So, I mean, being a Christian woman, that's gonna be hard, especially the whole aspect of the Bible, that all the LGBT community, especially the homosexuals, are sinners. So you never know. So it creates impact, whatever stories you tell, and again, live your authentic self.
Yay! Thank you. Now let's open up the floor for the audience. Any questions?
Don't be shy.
Okay, I see.
So we talked about this earlier about coming out. I think a lot of people struggle with that and what that definition means. Could you share what that means to you, so that maybe those who struggle with that can find some comfort or a community within? because it's not the same for everybody, right?
Mhm.
And so I think, especially for the young people or just people in general, just to hear other perspectives on coming out and what that means, just so that they can gain a better perspective.
You mentioned about young people. I would say coming out is a journey, and also knowing your environment first. Make sure it's a safe environment, especially for a young person. Like, for example, if you're 16 or a teenager and you're relying on your parents for their, for their housing and stuff like that, and then if your parents are homophobic or against LGBT people, learning your environment and come out later in life, for example, if you have the means to come out, because it's unfortunate that in this day and age, some young people still get kicked out of their home for being LGBTQ. So knowing yourself, knowing your surrounding, and when it's time for you to come out, do that in a safe environment that you can.
I can add to Saldi's point. So like I said earlier, I personally feel like coming out is, in the same sense, a journey. Like I think it's a problematic phrase, in my opinion, because it makes it sound like once you come out of the closet, you're out. And anybody who has come out knows that it's not a one-time thing. You're always coming out to somebody new. I think that, I guess, a sort of advice is safety. Have an ally, have someone you trust, be willing, be comfortable, be able to invite someone to be part of that process. Make sure you have support. I just blanked, but there was something else too. Yeah, it's not a one-time thing. And on the other side, you never know your parents, your family. God, when I told my mom, like straight up, she was just like, okay. Like, I know. She was very uninterested. And I was like, okay, I wanted like celebration, but sure, okay. So I was just really surprised. So I think you never know like how people will react to it. Oh, this is what I was gonna say. You owe it to no one. That's what I was gonna say. My neurodivergent brain just floated away. You owe it to nobody. I would say that's the best advice I could give. It's completely when you're comfortable in the way you want to. If you want to throw yourself a damn party, just go for it. Like, people will come. So just do it in the way that you're comfortable with, and just know that there's no perfect time. Just do it when you're ready, when your heart feels it's ready. And it's so different for everybody. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely a journey, not a definitely not a one-time thing. And finding the right people to come out as the first, supporting group. It's very important because it sets a good foundation, I think, for your coming out journey, later on. And also test the water. Have your mom or your parents exposed to LGBTQ movies. I accidentally did that with my mom. I watched 蓝雨, which is a very famous gay movie in China, and my mom saw two guys naked, doing the thing, and that's a great thing to do, I think.
Yeah, I can add some thoughts as well. I think coming out could be selective. You just tell people who you feel comfortable with. Like, sometimes my partner is my partner, sometimes she's my cousin living with me. And it's different from families to families. Like, my family were chill, but her family was not. And last year when I traveled back to China, I made a visit to her mom, and her mom was like, wow, you are her best friend. You have two lovely children. I wish they were mine. I was like, yes, they could be yours. And she's like, my daughter is perfect, except that she does not hang out with boys. I was like, do you want me to introduce one? I'm not sure if I can do that. But anyway, she struggles to come out with her mom. But I think now her mom sends my kids red envelopes on holidays. Yeah, so that's just a process. And I send a Mother's Day gift to her and a Chinese New Year gift. Yeah. All right, we have some time for one more question. The lady in pink.
I'm a mother of 3 daughters, so my oldest daughter.
Hello, daughter.
The youngest one is here. So my oldest daughter is dating lesbian, and she come out. She brought her partner home, and my question is, as you guys mentioned earlier, a support from family. So you guys have any advice, like what can parents can support them, support but not scorn?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like what should we do as a parent to show the support?
So first of all, there's no right answer. The fact that you're here, you're doing great. You're a good mom. It's hard to answer that question because every person's different. No queer person's the same. I would say the best human advice is to just listen and ask. Ask in a way that's open-ended, like, how is so-and-so? And just leave it at that, don't dig, because it gets a lot. And be okay that sometimes just in regular, just children things, they don't want to tell you. So just keep asking just to show interest and watch movies, show your support. It might annoy her, but does she go by her pronouns?
Yes, she go by her.
I thought you said she, I just want to double check.
Her partner is go by.
Good ally, good job. I love this generation. I know so many people. Non-binary. Just like any other parenting advice, I'm not a parent, so just like any parenting advice is just to listen and be open to learn and be patient because it's not about you, which but I just feel like you're already doing an amazing job. Just keep being supportive the way you are and ask other parents, just don't put it all on her. I would say that's the key thing. Please teach me everything about being queer. I want to know everything. It's a lot to carry. Sometimes we want to come up and say, hey, I want to invite you to this event. I want to talk to you about this, and just make it that kind of comforting space so that they can come to you with that. That's what I would say.
I'm not a parent either. I'm not gonna be a parent. Yeah, so I totally agree. Just to try to be part of their life and participate, and also be their support when they're having down times. I think that's support from, especially the mental health support from the parents are critical for the kids who are having a hard time sometimes.
I want to add more on the question. With my daughter, she's kind of okay, but sometimes I think about the past, I feel like sometimes she's kind of scared of us, of my daughter's family, because I don't want she to, sometimes I can tell she feels left out, she feels like she's not one of us, or we might not accept her because she's lesbian. So I want to know, how can we, what should we do or make she feel like she one of us, she one of the family?
Just to clarify, you're talking about the partner?
Yeah, partner.
Oh. I don't think it's any different being queer, honestly. Just anytime you bring someone home that's a partner, it's always a point of contention.
Yeah, maybe do some pride celebrations at your home and just let her know that she's welcomed. And I think the schools do a really good job. Nowadays, school has coming out day. They have.
No, my daughter is she's 27.
She's 27. Okay. Okay. This. Okay. Yeah. You can decorate your house with.
And then say you can always change your mind. I'm here when you need me. I feel like that's really good advice just overall for any relationship.
let's give another big round of applause to our awesome panelists. Woo! And give some round of applause for yourself. Love yourself. Thank you for coming. And now it's time for our stand-up comedy.